Hi guys, this is Jesper from the MTG videos. Going to do a deck check today. I'm feeling really nervous, but I guess that I will get better as we do this a couple of times. I'm fully aware about that we're doing is basically copying everything right off the deck text that wizards normally do on a Pro Tour and stuff. However, this is really not any pro decks. This is the deck that I brought to our weekly tournament locally in Helsingborg, Sweden, every Thursday. I brought it yesterday, and I know the build may not seem very original, but I have only briefly seen the Bant decks, but yeah, they basically build themselves. So let's check into the creatures we have in the deck. First of all, we're starting out with 3 of Knight of the Reliquary. Since we're running 7 fetch lands, they can be 4/4s, 5/5s fairly quickly. Hard aggro can also be used to bring other lands out of a deck. For an example, sacrifice a forest or plains to bring a fetch land to bring another land out. Since when you hit 5 mana on this deck, you basically don't want any more. For our free drops, we have quite a bunch of them. It's almost a bit too heavy on the free drop. We run 4 of the Pancake Flipper. Gaining life is good, and really good beat early on. Same thing goes for Yenara. She was actually a house. I think she won 2 rounds for me yesterday. And with her friend Rafik, which is basically just I win in many situations. I actually pulled through a swinging with thanks to Rafik, I swung for 10 on turn 3 with a monk yesterday. So you go to 10, I go to 30 on round 3. That's pretty okay. A creature I'm testing out, which I will return to later on when I discuss the matchups, is the Stoic Angel. I brought her in just for fun. She's a good creature, but yeah, just for fun. But we'll get back to her. Of course, we are bringing the Baneslayers in, 4 of them, because they are just that good. You can't play without them. Needless to say, they also won a couple of games single-handedly. For mana acceleration, we run 4 Noble Hierarchs, and we also bring in 3 Birds of Paradise. For non-creature spells in the deck, I run 2 Oblivion Rings to deal with Planeswalkers and other threats, Eldrazi Monument. And speaking about Eldrazi Monument, this is why I choose to run 3 Bant Charms and only 3 free Path to Exile, since we actually can destroy artifacts with this one. It should have come in handy, but it never did, but we get back on that. My personal twist to the deck, I was really excited when Time Warp was reprinted. And I still am. I love resolving that card. So basically, I think a better build, more serious one, would run negates in this slot here. But I can't help myself. I really want to say it's me again. And it actually turned out pretty helpful yesterday. More on that later. For the mana base, we run 7 fetch lands, 4 of the Misty Rainforest, and 3 of the Terramorphic Expanse. We also run a couple of jewels. We run 4 of the... No, actually, I changed my mind yesterday, I remember. We run 3 of the Seaside Citadel, 2 Sunpetal Grove, free Glacial Fortress. On top of that, we're running 3 of each basic. So that's 23 lands. For sideboard, I guess you will be laughing now. It wasn't very well thought through. We have 4 Relic of Progenitors to handle Time Sieve decks and other things that simply reanimate. I have been getting my ass kicked by those decks the last weeks. That's why I wanted to have an answer in for them. This card, you can basically main deck it these days. It's good against Jund, it's good against vampires. Celestial Purge, too good to not have for. It's definitely a 4-off in the sideboard. Since I just sold my Day of Judgment and haven't received my new ones, I decided to go for 2 Planar Cleansings. It wasn't the very best choice, and the one time I boarded them in, I got stuck with both of them in hand, never played them. Also, in a control matchup, here we have the negates, 4 of them. So this is the Bant deck. I have to say it was really fun to play, and the matchup that was fought yesterday was the Boros Bushwhacker deck. This deck beat it 2-1 to this deck. The lifelink was simply too much to handle. We also faced let's see, what did we face? I'm kind of nervous for making this video. We faced Eldrazi Green, which should actually be a really nice matchup, I think. The first game went just as it should. We totally ran him over, and this is where the Stoic Angel showed what she's good for. Dropping her when he has 1.5 tapped out elf, 1.5 million tap out elf, and it's basically a good game from there. Also, the 4 Baneslayers, if he doesn't get the monument out, he's pretty screwed right away. And we also have 5 possibilities of removing a monument with the 2 Oblivion Rings and the Band Charms. Unfortunately, he won 2-1. The second round he won when he got out a monument, and I had wasted 1 of my Oblivion Rings on Elvish Archdruid, which I felt really stupid about. But anyway, that game was pretty long. I held up quite a while, hoping to top deck something and flying with a double striking Janara, but that never happened. In the last game, I basically didn't get 2 white mana. When I shook his hand, I showed my hand. It had a double Baneslayer in it, and there was no monument out. Nothing that the angel wouldn't say I win over. But that's the game. Yeah, another matchup we fought yesterday was the White Weenie. It was 2-1 to this deck, and it was really unexciting. We didn't learn anything, since it basically was me mana screwing, him mana screwing, and then one proper fight, which this deck won. The last fight we had was against red-white homebrew with Hellkite Chargers, Ayani, Paths, Baneslayers, Fireballs, good stuff. Here we actually got to pull a little trick with the Time Warp. I had these 2 guys in play, and I attack him, of course, for 4. Then he drops the Ajani Vengeance, saying that the monk will not untap. And the solution was quite simple: take an extra turn, untap, and then attack Ajani for the kill. So it causes many fun plays, the time warp card. Really love it. Well, anyway, this was the first report and first deck check I made. And my plan is to do this every week. I basically build a new deck every week for these tournaments. Of course, I'm getting inspiration online, but I try to not have the list in front of me when I build. And I also try to add, yeah, fun cards. Fun cards like Time Warp. So, see you later, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.